big screen characters like Aladdin to small screen heroes like Bugs Bunny, we cannot get enough of our favorite cartoons. What makes them even better? When cartoons cross paths, share universes, and appear in movies or shows together. Check out some of the more surprising crossovers, including the odd debut of an animated Wonder Woman and a classic Nicktoons moment. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new Screen Rant content.
Poor fella.
Yeah, ain't I a stinker?
Not only did Who Framed Roger Rabbit introduce us to the zany adventures of Roger and Jessica Rabbit, but the film was a historical landmark for the animated crossover showcases Daffy Duck and Donald Duck in a dueling piano battle, which showcased the best of both characters. Later in the film, we get to see two animated icons side by side as Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse skydive in midair together. Imagine all the crossovers we could see today if they ever greenlit a sequel.
Can I get my hands on you?
If you get your hands on me, Hercules.
The 1990s was a huge renaissance for Disney animation, as films like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, and Hercules all became instant classics and helped bring back the animated musical. Thanks to the growth of the Disney Channel, many of these movies also got their own shows. On the Hercules series, we got to see one of the most epic crossovers ever, entitled Hercules and the Arabian Night. In the story, Hercules and Aladdin team up together to take on Hades and a resurrected Jafar. The two heroes worked great together and certainly helped add fuel to the various theories connecting Disney movies together.
Wow! Where did the Wonder Woman come from?
The Brady Bunch was such a big hit, the children of the show got their own spin-off, in animated form. Entitled Brady Kids, the show was nothing special, but it did have a random crossover with Justice League heroes Wonder Woman and Superman. Shockingly, the crossover with Wonder Woman would mark her first time in an animated production. Of course, now she's all over different shows, but it is still odd to see her debut with the Brady Kids of all places.
Wait, Spinelli! I hate baloney! And Florian turns my hair green! And that gets so Ricky! Tourists.
Before Lilo and Stitch first premiered, a number of trailers saw Stitch invade Disney classics and interact with characters like Aladdin. The crossover trend continued with the release of Lilo and Stitch, the animated series. The ambitious show was known for crossing over with other animated series at the time, and one of the best featured the cast of Disney's Recess. Trading the playground for an island resort, TJ and gang interact with Lilo and Stitch, deliver their trademark lines, and go on a short adventure. Too bad they didn't return the favor and appear as students for an episode of Recess.
I love your dress.
Well, thank you. You must tell me who does your hair.
The Flintstones and the Jetsons may be worlds apart, but animators found a way to bring both franchises together for a crazy crossover event. In the 1987 film entitled The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, the Jetson family travels back in time to the Stone Age, where they get into hijinks with Fred, Barney, and the rest of the family. The movie feels like an extended episode of the show, and features a good mix of both the Space Age and Stone Age together.
My name's not Jimmy, it's Timmy.
You scientifically altered the first letter of your name?
Huh?
Crossing over a traditional animation with a CG world may seem like a challenge, but the creators of the Fairly OddParents and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius managed to do it 3 times. Known as the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour series, each special extended episode featured the characters crossing into each other's worlds. We got to see a 2D version of Jimmy Neutron and a CG version of Timmy. Each Power Hour continued the characters and plot from each of the previous ones, adding a long continuity and arc rarely seen in children's animation.
Buster and Babs Bunny. No relation.
Let's hope not. It's a children's show.
The Tiny Toon Adventures was a great spin-off of the Looney Tunes and helped lead to a few other series for the WB. One of these series was the Animaniacs. While they never aired at the same time, the Animaniacs was able to include a number of crossover characters from Tiny Toon Adventures. In the episode entitled Noah's Lark, Buster and Babs makes an appearance as they attempt to board the large ship. Plucky Duck also appears in the Garden episode, where he mini-golfs and a snake pops out of the hole. Several other episodes featured small nods or moments with the characters in the background. In 2007, Cartoon Network had a huge crossover event featuring all of their popular shows at the time. The characters of Ed, Edd and Eddy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, Camp Lazlo, and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy all teamed up to take on an alien invasion. While each episode pretty much stood on its own, the characters had cameo appearances as the alien invasion took over, and they were all needed to save the day.
Hey, those dudes look just like us.
Don't flatter yourselves.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles could pretty much team up with anyone in the cartoon universe, but multiple times the characters have chosen to cross over with themselves. In the TV film Turtles Forever, the classic 1980s Turtles team up with the crew from the early 2000s to take on Shredder and other classic villains. The same nostalgic nod is featured again in the Nickelodeon version of the show. The episode entitled Transdimensional Turtles brought back the original cartoon characters for another fun crossover adventure. Who needs other franchises when there are so many good versions of the Ninja Turtles?
Either I'm at the wrong house or you've lost some weight, Fred. In a weird way.
Johnny Bravo helped lead the way for a whole new crop of Cartoon Network shows with its premiere in 1997. The show lasted for multiple seasons and found many ways to honor cartoon classics, which helped lead the way for Bravo. One of these cartoons was The Flintstones, and a crossover episode featured one of Johnny Bravo's distant relatives interacting with the Flintstones family. Bravo's risque humor mixed well with the family and helped the Flintstones feel relevant once again.
Ferb, are you expecting someone?
Not them.
Over the years, all of the characters and companies Disney has hired has helped them in many ways, but Phineas and Ferb may have benefited the most. Almost immediately after acquiring the Star Wars franchise, Phineas and Ferb presented their take on the original trilogy. The same thing occurred with Disney's purchase of Marvel, as we got to enjoy Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel. The episode features a majority of the Avengers, along with Spider-Man long before his MCU debut in Captain America: Civil War.
You should be hanging out in malt shops, not loitering in condemned buildings.
Like Batman just told us to get a milkshake. I think we should listen.
After years of taking on ghosts, goblins, and plenty of characters in fancy masks, Scooby-Doo and the gang decided to team up with a collection of famous teammates. One of the best crossovers in the series was with Batman and Robin. The dynamic duo helped Scooby and the gang take on classic Batman villains like the Joker and the Penguin. The crossover features 2 episodes and even got its own DVD release. It's time for both franchises to revisit this great crossover and create a modern-day version of the tale.
Somebody stop us!
In the 1990s, if you had a hit movie, you could probably expect to see an animated series based off the film. This was the case for several of Jim Carrey's comedies in the 90s. Both Ace Ventura and The Mask were turned into animated shows, even though Carrey didn't voice either of the characters. While we have loved to see Ace Ventura and The Mask interact in a live-action big-screen adventure, their animated crossover was the next big thing. Both characters' wild personalities meshed well in the episode, and the shows could have stayed in crossover mode for multiple episodes because the characters worked so well together.
Oh, you're just my flexion. How you doing, Chucky?
Yakka-da-boo-boo, whack-whack.
With 2 feature films under their belt, no one expected the Rugrats to return so quickly to the big screen. But they did in an epic crossover with another Nicktoon hit, The Wild Thornberrys. In Rugrats Go Wild, the baby's newest vacation has them crossing paths with the Thornberry family. Because of Eliza's ability to communicate to animals, she is not only able to talk to the babies, but we get to hear Spike talk for the first time. And it turns out he sounds a lot like Bruce Willis.
Fellow master builders, including but not limited to Robin Hood, Mermaid Lady, Gandalf, Swamp Creature, and Wonder Woman.
The LEGO Movie showcases crossovers we never thought we'd see on the big screen. Thanks to the massive amount of LEGO licenses, we got to see the whole Justice League on screen, with characters from Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and The Simpsons. The best crossover? When Batman gets to interact with Star Wars characters and even hops aboard the Millennium Falcon. Han Solo and Lando have to deal with the ultimate con when he steals the hyperdrive from them, while we all geek out over the epic crossover.
Cowabunga.
Despite being on the same network, The Simpsons and Family Guy spent years making digs at each other and featuring their characters in small parodies. Then in 2014, The Simpsons and Family Guy crossed over in the Family Guy episode entitled The Simpsons Guy. The epic episode paired together all of the characters as Lisa bonded with Meg, Stewie and Bart got into trouble, and Homer had an epic fight with Peter. The humor and tone was great, and even featured a quick cameo by another animated TV father, Fred Flintstone.
How do you sleep at night?
On top of a pile of money with many beautiful ladies.
Some crossover shows are used just to promote the other show, and this was definitely the case for the Season 4 episode of The Simpsons entitled A Star is Burns. The episode features a crossover with the lead character from the animated series The Critic. The crossover felt random, and one of the big connections was with James L. Brooks, a producer on both shows. Matt Groening was completely against the episode and removed his name from the credits. Over time, the episode only seems to get better and has a lot of great comedy scenes, including film festival shorts created by Springfield characters.
We have to do something! Your parents must be worried sick!
What?
Teen Titans Go loves to do hilarious takes on a lot of superheroes, but they are all typically within the DC universe. When a new Powerpuff Girls series was announced for Cartoon Network, it was only natural for the two shows to cross over, thanks to their similar animation style. The result was a great combination of the characters, as they battled in a competition to see who the best team of heroes was. The real winner? The fans, who wanted to see this crossover happen for years, as it finally became a reality.
Do you have any idea what it smells like in there, dude? I'm sure you can handle a little Arborian musk to save your nuts and bolts, dude.
The Cartoon Network Ben 10 has a similar visual style and story like the cartoon generator Rex. Blending the two universes together was no easy task, but the show producers managed to create a cohesive storyline in the special Ben 10/Generator Rex Heroes United. By the end of their adventure, both characters managed to merge together and do battle against some pretty crazy villains and monsters. As Ben 10 lives on, we hope Generator Rex can return to the same universe for one more adventure.
Look for some place to hide while I figure out how to deal with... Did you just slime me?
The Disney Ultimate Spider-Man series has the potential for so many great crossovers and adventures with other heroes. One of the show's biggest crossover episodes was also the oddest. The Disney live-action series Jessie was transformed into animated form, and the characters got to go on a Halloween adventure which turned into a battle where they fought alongside Spider-Man. The New York City setting helped connect the two series, but the odd crossover was surprising and still a little strange to see to this day.
Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big, strong man showed up?
Yes! What is up with that?
In the first Wreck-It Ralph, we got to see Ralph with all types of video game characters. For Wreck-It Ralph 2, it's a whole different ballgame. As Ralph and Vanellope enter the world of the internet, we see a great mix of crossovers and cameo appearances. One of the best scenes in the trailer showcases Vanellope with all of the classic Disney princesses, including Pocahontas, Elsa, Cinderella, and Moana. The epic crossover provides a lot of great laughs and includes a modern take on how we view the princesses and their stories.
She is a princess!
Wow, there you have it. What was your favorite animated crossover? Are there any we missed? What crossovers do you want to see in the future? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. Thanks for watching.